Hello! Welcome to the CMRR virtual tour. I'm your host, Emily Allen. If you were getting this tour in person, we would have walked from Elliott Hall, where the psychology department is housed, over to the CMRR, which is about a 15 to 20 minute walk. It's east of Dinkytown and right behind the Huntington Bank Stadium. So, we're walking. What a lovely day it is today. And we're stopping. We come upon this lovely but unassuming building. But these walls house one of the largest, most cutting-edge neuroimaging facilities in the world. Welcome to the Center for Magnetic Resonance Research. Here is a very quick teaser of the facility, just to give you a broad overview.
The Center for Magnetic Resonance Research is home to some of the most advanced MR instrumentation in the world, including the world's first 10.5T clinical imaging magnet, complemented by research faculty and staff that provide unique expertise in imaging physics, engineering, and signal processing. Over 30 radiology department research faculty work at CMRR. Our trainees have opportunities to collaborate with CMRR faculty in high field strength MRI research.
Now, before we continue this tour, let's get a bit of context. Other than an electric car company, Tesla is also how we measure the strength of a magnetic field. To put into perspective how strong the magnets are at the CMRR, consider the Earth's magnetic field, which is half a Gauss, or around 32 microtesla. A refrigerator magnet is around 5 millitesla, or around 50 Gauss. 1 Tesla is equivalent to 10,000 Gauss, and the weakest magnets at the CMRR start at 3 Tesla, or 30,000 Gauss. We also have the world's first 10.5T whole-body human MRI scanner that's been approved for human research. 10.5T is an order of magnitude greater than the standard MRIs at hospitals. Stronger magnets come with great advantages. While we may not be heading to Mars with our Tesla, there's very cool stuff we can do. We can increase the signal-to-noise ratio of our images, and we can increase the resolution of our images to an unprecedented degree, including getting down into sub-millimeter resolution, especially at ultra-high fields, which include 7 Tesla scanners and higher. This allows us to look at cortical and subcortical brain structures and depth-dependent processes that were previously inaccessible. And all of this can be done non-invasively. But as with any great superhero story, with great power comes great responsibility. Let's take a sneak peek at how dangerous ferromagnetic projectiles can be in the presence of a very large magnet.
How many years has it been here?
Since 91? 92.
How long have you been here, Fred?
We're not talking about that.
Here we go. Count it down.
tack, though.
Oh, it's frozen. You can take a hammer to it and throw it.
Did I miss the party?
As you can see, getting proper safety training is critical when working in this environment. MRI machines are fabulous when used correctly, but there are certain instances where your only option is to quench the magnet. So it's very important to remember when entering an MRI environment, the magnet is always on. MRI machines are superconducting, which means the coils in the magnet are cooled to cryogenic temperatures, removing electrical resistance and creating strong magnetic fields. When in this state, the magnets stay active at all times, so it's extremely important to be mindful of the fact that you are in a constant magnetic field, which can be very dangerous if you aren't properly trained to work in such an environment. The only time a magnet is turned off is through quenching. Quenching is the process of very quickly releasing helium from the MR machine, removing it from its superconductive state, which eliminates the magnetic field. Quenching is very rare and very expensive and should be avoided as much as possible, but it's a very important element of safe scanning practices. The CMRR is a true pioneer in the advancement of MRI technologies. They were the first facility to develop whole body scanners at 4T, 7T, 9.4T, and the latest and greatest 10.5T. So if you want to be at the cutting edge of MRI research, this is the place to be. The CMRR has a lot of magnets to use for both clinical and non-clinical research, including 3 3T magnets, 2 7T magnets, a 17T vertical bore magnet for levitation, and many more. They also have a PET and CT scanner and a cyclotron. You can find out more from the CMRR website by clicking on the Using Our Facility tab and selecting Resources and Rates. Here is a map of the building, highlighting where the different MRI machines are located. What you'll notice also is the dashed lines, indicating how far the magnetic field extends for each machine. This is to highlight that even when you aren't right next to a machine, you may very well still be in the magnetic field of one, which can affect your electronic devices, your credit cards, etc. So be mindful of this when visiting. There are lockers in the reception area where you can store your valuables. Getting back to the very cool 10.5T, it was actually logistically pretty challenging getting it to Minnesota. The magnet was built in the UK and shipped across the Atlantic Ocean and through the Great Lakes to Duluth, Minnesota in 2013. We were actually able to track its journey as it was traveling through the Marine Traffic website. It was quite a relief to see it arrive at the Duluth Harbor. The next step, once it arrived in the Twin Cities, was the installation process. Here is a video of it being installed at the CMRR.
This is a very ambitious project, faced with many scientific challenges. But the first challenge was to build such a magnet, and that challenge, in principle, has been met. I mean, this magnet was tested at 10.5 Tesla. This is going to be used for magnetic resonance imaging-based studies of the human body, predominantly brain, but also other parts of the body. And we expect with this magnetic field to reach the kind of detailed information we are unable to get with even the most advanced scanners we have in the world. The next challenge will be really on the CMRR scientists, and in fact to work out the technology and exploit what a 10.5 Tesla can potentially deliver. Many of the magnets in this building are first of their kind. They represent the state of the art. They are the most advanced scanners in the world. And this is now another phase of development, actually, to surpass the capabilities.
The person featured in that installation video was Camille Orbil, who is the director and founder of the CMRR. He's been a revolutionary in MRI research here at the University of Minnesota since 1982. His lab was one of the first to do human fMRI work. And after years of work getting the magnet here, installed, ramping it up to 10.5T, and getting all of the equipment tested and approved, the 10.5T is actively being used today, so it's a very exciting time for MRI research. And the first image of a human being acquired at the 10.5 was a very exciting moment, as you can see. While the 10.5 is new and fancy and cool, we're still working on coming up with the best ways to acquire great data there. The 7Ts, on the other hand, we have a much better handle on in terms of getting really nice brain data, and now we're continuing to explore pushing the limits in terms of image resolution and other pulse sequence parameters, and improving our data processing and analysis techniques. And the Terra is the newest 7T at the CMRR, and it's the first ever FDA-approved 7T for clinical use. But in with the new means out with the old. Here's the first 7T ever. It was decommissioned at the end of 2019. It was less fancy and less automated than the newer 7Ts today. It was only passively shielded, and it could be fickle at times. But a lot of groundbreaking work was done at this scanner, so we were pretty sad to see it go. So, this is a couple of us giving it a final goodbye. But it's not totally gone. It is now a work of art in our very exclusive magnet garden, right next to the first 4T scanner. And let us not forget about our 3Ts, which are very active. They're really great machines, and you can get excellent, reliable data from them. And they're easier to use than the ultra-high field scanners, so scientists get trained to use these first. Even Senator Amy Klobuchar came to check them out. Here she is with Camille discussing the BRAIN initiative during the Obama administration, which was a research effort to map the human brain in hopes of finding new ways to prevent and cure brain disorders such as Alzheimer's, autism, epilepsy, and Parkinson's disease. So you've seen a lot of pictures of the magnets, but the console room is where the researchers spend most of their time when acquiring data. Each magnet has its own console room, equipped with several computers and other equipment for both acquiring data and running various experiments. This includes stimulus computers for presenting visual or auditory stimuli, physiological equipment for measuring pulse and respiration, eye tracking equipment, MR-safe eyeglasses of varying magnifications, and much more. In addition to the neuroimaging equipment, the CMRR has a lot of other resources devoted to hardware development, where researchers can design state-of-the-art head coils and other custom hardware and peripheral equipment for the wide variety of experiments conducted at the CMRR. The CMRR also has an impressive amount of computing resources, which is important when working with such large amounts of neuroimaging data. In addition to several meeting rooms and offices, the CMRR has its own seminar room where various talks and activities are held, including monthly seminars, which you're welcome to attend. And the CMRR recently underwent renovations. In addition to installing the new Terra, the courtyard was expanded, more office space and meeting rooms were added, and a new optical imaging lab was created. If you want to know more about this very cool optical imaging lab, go to med.umn.edu/optical to learn more about the optogenetics research happening at the CMRR. One of the groundbreaking research endeavors the CMRR has been involved in is the Human Connectome Project, which is a systematic effort to map macroscopic human brain circuits and their relationship to behavior in a large population of humans. Data is publicly available and the project is ongoing. Another recent large project to come from the CMRR is the Natural Scenes Dataset, which involved getting a very large amount of brain data from a smaller number of subjects as they viewed and performed behavioral tasks on a large stimulus set full of natural scenes. Whole brain data was acquired for each subject, totaling millions of data points per subject, making the whole data set several terabytes. It took about a year to collect all of the data, with each of the 8 subjects coming in roughly once a week to be scanned. The full dataset is now publicly available. Check out more at naturalscenesdataset.org. And you can go to research.cmrr.umn.edu or click on the Research tab from the homepage to see some highlights of other work being done here. So, in addition to MRI data being computationally expensive, it's also expensive to acquire. Though the CMRR works hard to make the prices reasonable, keeping the facility running is expensive. Here are the hourly rates for the magnets and other services. Up-to-date rates can be found on the CMRR's website. And with that, we've made it to the end of the virtual tour. I'll cap it off with some MRI-related memes for you to enjoy. Thank you for listening.